Various mix indeed of brands that we have. What is always important is like the purpose of the equipment. So yeah, that's the main view to look at it. What do we want to do with the equipment? And then we explore the market, what is available and what would be fit for our purposes.
Historically and specifically in this side, it was really an HP Indigo side. I think as we are focusing on consumer products, so we do pieces of one, right? So we make a photo album specifically. We have been introducing inkjet as well over the last years, I think, as all the other players. And we see that is giving us great efficiency. So uptime of the inkjet machines as well as the product quality for our customer is a great fit.
And on top of that, the maintainability and the ease of operation is very impressive and really fits for our organization, where we are also scaling up during peak. So yeah, then we rely on additional operators that can easily work with different equipment as well.
So we recently also moved our complete photo print production from silver-halide to inkjet. We don't produce that here anymore, we produce those in Spain. But most of our product portfolio is currently on inkjet. And then where we are positioned now, we're also producing a wide format, and there we still have a combination of technologies. And I think we have a slightly different approach per factory, and then we're trying to find the right, we say, conceptual model. So we're here at a high volume side, so where we really have high capacity, single point capacity on our book block making and our casing in equipment. But in other sites we actually chose a more modular and scalable concept, where we have smaller capacity even in line in some cases in Spain. So we're trying to figure out what works best for us. High volume, big capacity in our finishing, or more tactical, flexible, scalable, lower capacity units. And I think we're trending towards scalable and modular, and we reserve the right to being big and high volume just for this site here in Ypenburg.
Yeah, for sure there is a focus on delivery time and lead time. It would be interesting to be able to supply to the customer faster. Also in terms of further customization of the products, like adding additional pages, adding certain finishing details. That all adds to the customization of your original project, gaining maybe new customers or retaining our current customer base.
So in the last 2-3 years, we have been really focusing on, okay, how can we standardize the way we do things? So that means the physical products, but also the processes that we have. But also, how can we really select the partners we work with in a way that we create true partnerships. So we've been looking at our printing technology, our finishing technology, but also our software layer, and being pretty looking, okay, what are the best practices? Which partners can we work with in an efficient and also nice way? And of course, the technology that maximizes the potential of our flows as well as our people. I came from the food industry, and I was already involved in what you call it in like traditional manufacturing, the manufacturing execution system layer. So I was doing assessments on can we implement this software layer, and what I found is that it was quite hard to find a truly flexible smart factory backbone or smart factory framework already when I was working in the food industry. So when I joined Storio, there was already a process ongoing where albelli at the time, they had indeed their own bespoke software and it needed to be refactored. So either way, there needed to be an investment, either in the homegrown software on something that was already available on the market. So I joined in that selection process straight away. And that's also where I indeed met ctrl-s, that are the suppliers of Symphony. And I was positively surprised by the fact that they really have an object-oriented model. And that you can create workflows out of any of those objects. So your machines become an object, your products become an object. You could even say that your humans become an object with attributes that you can then link into workflows, which was not something that I never came across in my previous career. No, the first objective was really business continuity, to be honest, and especially when the merger happened in 2022, we were in the process of selecting a software as the backbone of this facility and the facility in France, because they belong to albelli. So albelli was already in that process, and then the German facility, posterXXL. So there, the risk was even higher from a software point of view. So the bespoke software that we had in place, it had a real business continuity risk, because also the developers were not there anymore. While in albelli we still had the developers. So when the merger happened, we also had to reprioritize where we started the rollout after the selection, in this case of Symphony, and that was also the reason why we started in Germany. So indeed, the main driver was business continuity, and then on top of that, I think the company already developed this vision of a virtual plant, where we felt that we are in a very unique position, because we have, of course, we are a print industry, but at the same time we have manufacturing facilities, and we look to have flow in our facilities. But actually what comes in is a PDF, some raw materials, but then we make physical products. And I think that's because if it's a PDF that comes in, you can be very flexible in where you send that PDF to be produced, right? So it's a unique proposition to be manufacturing for. So that vision of a virtual plant where a store or someone connecting to our network can order something, and that based on characteristics of this factory network, we route those PDFs, that was already there. And with that vision and with the business continuity in mind, we had to find a solution that also still financially made sense. So in the end, I think we succeeded in all.
Yeah, well, with all of these projects, it's always a journey that you get on, and it hasn't been flawless from the start. The technology is indeed one thing. The other important factor for us was really the collaboration with ctrl-s and building a partnership. For us, it was never just buying the software, implementing it, and then we're done, as we want to build on it. So we were very much looking for a collaborator and a partner. We definitely find that with ctrl-s, which has been visible throughout the whole 4 years of working on implementing the software.
I think the first ROI for us came from the fact that we don't have to develop and maintain this software. That's being done by ctrl-s. And what is particularly interesting for us is that we pay by use. So the positions, we call them the products, they flow through the software. A book is a content and a cover, so that's actually two positions, but we pay for what flows through the software. And that helps us tremendously in building new workflows, right? Because the software is already there, we only pay where we use it. And also when we move products from this facility to the German facility, who is all the same software, we have the costs move with that. So that's one big element for us. What we now see, indeed, the next phase, and that last peak, we had one of our best peaks ever, is that because the data and the traceability of the workflows in those facilities, they are the same. So we can really understand how are products moving in the Netherlands and how are they moving in Germany, how do they compare, but also what do we expect in terms of output per hour. So I'm personally steering now really on output and not on-time shipments. That's for me now a lagging indicator, and I'm starting to push on the output side, and we see significant gains. And that would only be possible with this re-platform. I believe that ecosystems with people, but also with software and with process should be as open as possible.
The vision really is to have like a network of factories as we have now, where we can distribute the volume depending on load, and also base decision making on real-time data that we get through the different systems and software to be able to limit the human decision making and boost with that utilization and efficiency.
I do think that we have seen in the last years we have been investing. So we've been internally focused on re-platforming our complete front end. So if we introduce something for one brand, we automatically have it available for the other brand. I think the books category as a whole, the photo books category is a mature market, so it's not like double-digit growth and it's value growth. So we can grow with the category, but I think we still also have a lot of room to improve our costs. So that's what we are doing as operations, where I'm responsible for manufacturing. I'm focusing on that side, and my colleagues on the commercial side, now we have this amazing platform, we're now focusing on growing.